Hey friends, it's Claudine. Welcome back to Foxy Finances. I haven't done my budget, you guys, and it's the day after payday. So I don't know what's happening. I feel like, well, a couple things have happened that I do know of. I've been sick for this whole week, so that's part of it. But I should have done my budget up here. But I will just say it's been a very busy time for work, and I think that when I get busy at work, I just sort of lose track of a lot of my budgeting stuff, and that's definitely a problem when it comes to spending. I will say I don't think I've overspent, particularly since I've been sick and I haven't been able to go anywhere, but I need to get back on track because it's either get back on track or just give up budgeting altogether. And I did consider like, could I just not budget for November and just see what happens and pay the bills, but not save any of my sinking funds or any of my savings, not do any challenges, none of that, just pay the bills and not budget. And I really did think about that a lot this week as I've been sick, because I just kept thinking like, oh, I have to budget. And it's just like, just was feeling like a very heavy lift. But I'm feeling much better today. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, a little stuffy, a little congested still, but overall feeling way better. And when the fog broke, I realized that not budgeting is a terrible idea. For me personally, I always encourage people to budget. I think that getting a handle on your finances, the first step is to know what you're working with, and that means making a budget. So I will not be abandoning my budget, but I am going to have to really get back into the swing of things, and that means I need to look at last month's budget and this month's budget. So I have already started by putting down all of the things that I'm going to cash stuff or save to pay the bills. Oh, actually, let's go through first really quick and look at what November has brought for us. So this is obviously my November desk calendar. This is where I track my bills. And so I also track it here as far as like the budgeting process, but I like to do it on this calendar because I like a full month visual to kind of just see like when my paydays are happening and then what is due before or after the payday happens. So I have paid the mortgage, thank gosh, because, it's the first already. Paid the student rent for my daughter. I have paid my Southwest credit card. I have paid Amazon. I paid Barclays, and I also paid Centerpoint. So we're in good shape. I just need to pay these two, the Costco. Actually, I might have already paid Costco. I'm not sure. I will double check that. And then the school loan, I definitely have not paid. So since we got paid yesterday, we can take care of that. And then the only other thing that I think is going to have to get paid, but we can use this paycheck, is the Synchrony card. And technically, we don't actually use the paycheck for the Synchrony card. We use our savings challenges. So I will probably need to do a video on that to empty out some of my savings challenge money and the 100 envelope binder, and to pay off some more of this. But this is looking good. I feel good about this. Let's get into the budget for November and see what we're working with. I noticed that these last couple months, so October and even a little bit of September, I was putting my usual numbers in here, but then finding that I had to reduce. So for example, I didn't save for gutters last time. I didn't save for vacation or birthdays or the car. I had to reduce that. Anything that's crossed out means I didn't save for it. So that's kind of been something I've noticed, is that lately my available money for cash stuffing is less. I think it's because I'm having to pay more on my credit card. So that means I'm putting more stuff on the credit card than I should be, and I'm not like unstuffing envelopes to pay it. I'm just having to use this money to pay the credit card. So for November and December, to be honest, I'm really going to be much more mindful. And this is kind of a struggle I've always had. I don't feel like I'm crazy with the credit card. I don't like just shop and buy stuff, but I do get things that I need. And sometimes there are things that I want, but it's more like protein powder or, things like that are like expensive. Do I need it? Probably not, but do I want it? Yes. But is it also food? Yes. So do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm buying purses and shoes, although I'd love to do that, but I don't. And we do pay off our credit card every month. And so that is why I've had to like reallocate some of these things into the credit card. But I want to try to get a really good handle on that, because with the holidays coming up and gift buying and potentially some travel, I know we're going to have a lot more expenses. So I have to like rein in the spending so that I can ramp up the spending, if that makes sense, for the holidays. So that's what we're going to take a look at today. But let me just get started. I'm going to go through and show you what I usually budget for my typical like paycheck budget worksheet. Canva always has to get 10 because that is a yearly fee that I separate out monthly and save it. Gutters are going to need to get 20. I'm wondering if I should just decrease this from the get-go. I'm going to leave it at 20 because the gutters are actually really full of leaves, and we're going to need to do that before it starts to get snowy. And since I missed it last time, I'm going to keep it at 20, and hopefully I don't have to adjust that again. Pest control is going to get $40. Holidays are going to get 100, and I'm really coming down to the wire here with this because, it's November. Let's see. Vacation is usually getting 20. I'm going to put, or it's usually getting 40. I'm going to just put 20. I don't have any vacations planned, so I think I can dial that back a little bit. And same thing with birthdays. I usually allocate 40. I don't know why. That seems like a lot, but I think it's because we have a lot of birthdays that kind of all clump up together in like from like summer to early fall. So I'm going to just reduce that now. I don't foresee any birthdays coming up until February, I think, is the next one in the family. So that should be okay. And then let's see, gas for the car. Oh no, wait, hot tub is going to get 50. I'm going to say 40 for that instead. I did just pay a bunch to have the hot tub cleaned, and then a piece broke inside. And so we paid a bunch, and I think we should be fine for, knock on wood. The hot tub will just need like chemicals and stuff for it. And I'm using the hot tub a lot more, I will say. I don't know if you've been here before, but for those of you who have, I'm always talking about my hot tub and like, I need to use it more because my husband wanted to get rid of it, but I've been using it more. I love it. This time of year is perfect because it's cold out, but not too cold to get in the hot tub. Like in the snow, that's really hard for me to like walk across the deck into the hot tub. But fall is the perfect time, and we are right in the midst of it, which I love. All right, moving on. The car is going to get 20. I think we're good with 20 because I've got a pretty good, decent amount saved up in there. Gas for the car is going to get 150. And I actually do need to I'm going to write a note here to myself to like reassess the gasoline expense, because I need to just, it's a really good idea when you're budgeting to, especially if you're going over or under frequently, to just like really look at what your expenses are. And I'm not sure how much I'm spending on gas because I put it on the credit card, and then it's the Costco card because I like to get gas at Costco if possible. But then I'm also putting my Costco charges on there. So like when I'm shopping in Warehouse, that goes on there too. And it's very easy to separate it out, but I just usually pay the bill, and I take all my gas money and I throw it in to the taking back to the bank. But I need to check and see what the situation is with my gas, because I feel like I might be, well, I actually don't even know. I might be spending more on gas. I feel like gas prices are a little higher. So I probably don't need to readjust this amount, but I do need to get a sense of what's going on. Amazon is going to get 100, although I'm definitely going over 100 a month on Amazon. It's fine though. Prescriptions are getting 100. I also need to reassess that and kind of really take a look this month of what we're spending on prescriptions, because I think it is also increased a little. My husband is going to get 300 for his fuel for his car and his haircuts and any other miscellaneous things he needs. School breaks, we're going to put 60 in there, 20 for each spring, winter, and fall break. Streaming is what I call, I realize that might not be the right word, but like my Netflix and Hulu and all those things, Amazon Prime, TV, whatever, $35 for that. Costco, now I usually put 20, that's really not very much, but I guess we'll just put 20 in for now. College, I save 100, and beauty, we save 50. All of these got skipped last month, so I'd really like to not skip those this month. Southwest card is 1,500, but that's definitely not enough. I'm going to actually do this here. Reassess the Southwest card. My bills are listed here. These all go onto the Southwest card. But I also put extra stuff like the cats and when I get my hair done. So I need to really just take a look and see, am I saving enough for the bills? But then also it's a two-part thing. So one, am I saving enough for the bills here? And then also like saving and budgeting is what I mean. And then also, am I allocating savings in cash stuffing for the extra things like the cats and the hair? So hair is part of beauty, but $50 a month is not enough because when I get my hair done, it's like 120 or something. And I have to do it every month because of the gray hairs, which I hate. So, yeah, I have to. It's not a want, it's a need. That's the one thing I have to say. It's a need. It's a need. I need to cover those grades. All right. So anyway, that's debatable probably if you ask, my husband. Anyway, so $836 for the school loan. Centerpoint is 88. I think that actually might have increased. I better check that too. Centerpoint. We're going to check that. The wastewater is 70. Pretty sure that's higher too. I'm going to put 80. And we're going to see. I think this just tells me I need to check all my bills and make sure. Auto savings is 160. This goes to, I have, I think, 4 savings accounts that are attached to my Chase bank. And in order to have a savings account, you either need to have a minimum balance, like in order to have a savings account without fees, you have to have a minimum balance, or you have to have a direct deposit, like an automatic deposit / transfer thing. And so I don't have the minimum. So I do these and then I either just leave it in there. So I've got like one that transfers into an account my daughter has. I have money that goes into our, it's basically, I'm using them like sinking funds. They're just like online banking things. Does that make sense? I think so. I hope so. And then taxes, we save $1,000 every 2 weeks for taxes because my husband is self-employed. So then we've got the student rent, and that is $1,425. So that will continue until May. All right, and then moving on. So this is where we're at with these. And we're going to move on to these here. And I don't know, maybe I might need to fold this because my desk is like really narrow. I realize that's what the problem is here. My desk is like, it's like, this is it. That's it. I can't get if I pull my camera up higher, you're going to see me sitting in my pajamas. So anyway, the struggles of making this video. Okay, so we're going to save. I save 50 for cash savings challenges. The Barclays card, last month I did 1,000. I'm going to go, I guess I'm going to leave it at 1,000. I really wanted to back that down, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. We'll see what happens this month and readjust it for next. Groceries are going to get 300, and that is $75 a week. There are 2 of us, plus those cats who eat a lot, but I don't usually put them into the grocery budget. But there's just 2 of us, so $75 a week should be plenty. I also have a really good pantry pile, like a pantry stockpile. I feel like my words today, they're just not making a lot of sense. Pantry stockpile of some of the staples that we need. I've also been doing a lot of sourdough bread, so I don't need to buy bread. So yeah, I think we're good on $75 a month. I mean, yeah, $75 a week for groceries, $300 a month. Okay, Chewy is $100, and this is for cat food. I'm actually buying this from Amazon, but I'm going to just leave it in the Chewy folder, and then I'll pull that out for Amazon. Nails get $80. I do them once a month. Tips get $5. That is just savings. That does not include my nail tip. That's for like service providers other than nails. The vet savings, we're going to give $100. College is going to get another $100 here. The home warranty is going to get $10, and this is for the deductible on our home warranty. Costco shopping is going to get $50, so it gets $70 total because we saved another $20 up there. Actually, you know what? Let's do $40. Nope, let's do $50. Lawn care has been getting $200, and I think I'm going to back that down to $100 because we are done with mowing, but I might need a leaf removal for the backyard. I raked the leaves in the front yard because the estimate to mow or to rake, not rake, but for leaf removal for the front and the back was like almost $400, and that's insane. So I did the front myself, but it was a lot. I haven't done the back. Anyway, so we're going to do 100 here. Dining out, we're going to do 50, and that's for like Friday pizza or whatever we do on Fridays. And then month ahead is just going to get a little $5 because it's better to save something than nothing. The groomer, we're going to save $54 and $100 for CD ladders that I'm thinking I'm going to start in January. I'm going to do a whole other video on CD ladders if I can get to it, because I want to do it, but I'm also kind of on the fence. I don't know where to get the CDs from. So I might just go with Ally Bank because we do have some accounts there. But the rates aren't great. They're just not great. I mean, I guess that's what you do, is just go with whatever the rates are at the time. Anyway, if you have any thoughts on CD letters, I'd love to hear. Okay, mortgage, $1,320. My mortgage is actually $1,319. And so I've been paying $1,320 for like a long time, ever since we started paying the mortgage. I don't know that that's going to actually help me in the long run, but they always say like, if you can pay a little more, you should. $1 probably isn't helping, but I do like a round number. Escrow is really just a savings for my property tax and my homeowner's insurance. So that is going to get $600. My Verizon, it's going to get $150. That's what I paid last month. Medical, we have been saving $200. I did have to skip that last month, but we're going to put that in there. And then taxes, another $1,000 for the 2 weeks. So this is it. This is the budget. I will add these up off camera because they're usually the same, but there might be a couple small changes. But for now, this is where we're at. And I think we're good. Oh, actually, you know what? No, I do have to go to the bank today. What am I talking about? I keep thinking I'm like way ahead of the game. I'm not. I'm like late to the game. So let's see if I can get my thing here working. All right, we'll add these up. Okay, this one came out to $11.85. Last time it was $12.55, and I did reduce a few, so that is probably pretty accurate. I've been having a lot of trouble with the calculator lately, friends. I don't know what my problem is, but everything that I do, none of the math ever comes out right. That is my big struggle with this whole budgeting process, is the calculator. Okay, so I'm going to add these all up on the bills or bank side. Okay, so this part here is $36.64. And then I have to add in the rent, which I think I forgot to add in last time. So I'm going to add that in separately, $14.25. And that makes $50.89. And then we add these together and we have 62. Let's see, that's not income, but I'm going to put that up here, $62.74. And I think we have about $6,000 in the bank. So I can't work my side hustles this weekend because I'm sick still a little bit, and I'm just going to rest, but we might have enough actually, which would be amazing. So I'll be glad when this rent payment is done. Okay. Next, moving down here to the second paycheck of the month, which is at the end of November. All right, that came out to $2,100. And last time it was $2,200. I'm looking to see if I decreased something. Oh, I skipped my CD ladder last time. So I think we're good on that because I add that back in. No, wait, that doesn't make sense. All right, I'll add that up again later. No, I'm going to add it up now. Hold on. All right, same amount. And then lastly, we're going to do, and that is $33.70. And last time it was $33.30. And I don't know why. Oh, because I had more. I don't know. This doesn't even make sense. I had more budgeted for Verizon last time. So see, this is, you can tell that I'm really struggling with my calculator skills. All right. Oop. Okay, now I got $32.70. One more time. $13.20 plus 600 plus 150 plus plus 200 plus 1,000 equals, okay, that's why. $32.70 makes me feel better about that. Okay, so all that to say, let's add these two. $32.70 plus 2,100 equals, we'll need here, we're gonna need $53.70. So what I would do if, not if, but what I will do is look at the difference between these two. Take a look at how much I have in order to pay these for the first month. If I don't have enough, there's definitely like almost $1,000 difference here. So what I could do is if, let's say my checks are like $5,500 altogether with my husband's payment and my payment. Let's just say it's $5,500. Then what I can do is take this, subtract this from 5,500, see how much of a buffer we're going to have, and then subtract this from 5,500, then match them up. Does that make sense? I think you know what I mean. But use my, like, decrease this to make it 5,500. Obviously, this is the most important, the bills. Then see what else I have. And then, so for example, if I had to take out like these four again, then I can see like, well, with 5,500, I've got like 200 extra. So like, where can I allocate that to these and then just save them for the second month? So that's my process. That is what I would do. And that is what I will do if I don't have $62.74 in my account, but I can't check now because I'm on my phone. So I think we're close. I think we're very, very close. And, I actually might also have some money that I did not put into savings from my last side hustle the weekend before I got sick. So I think we're going to be good, which is really nice feeling. I know it's been really hard probably for a lot of people lately with the situation with SNAP benefits and all that stuff. I do not get those. But I can definitely understand the feeling of not having enough when you look at your budget versus your paycheck. And that's really ultimately the thing is it's not meant to make us feel bad when we have our expenses being higher than our income. It is to be aware of it, because the more you know, the better you can do. And so if you're aware that you have a shortfall, like in my case, if I don't have enough here, I have to either reduce my spending, make more money, or, well, mostly it's just those two, I guess. That's really how I look at it. Or like reallocate things to another paycheck. So that's my little process. I hope that this has been helpful for anybody. If not helpful, maybe at least entertaining somewhat, to just kind of see what I do every month, and knowing that this was way behind. I'm fortunate that I don't have to hustle harder since I can't hustle this weekend. But this is it, friends. Thank you so much for being here. I am going to figure out how much I need to get out of the bank and then do that. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for being here. If you've not subscribed, I invite you to subscribe. And thank you so much to everybody who's come back to this video. I really appreciate you, Foxy Friends. And again, I will see you in the next one.